Some call me nature. Others call me Mother Nature. I've been here for over 4.5 billion years. 22,500 times longer than you. I don't really need people, but people need me. Yes, your future depends on me. When I thrive, you thrive. When I falter, you falter. Or worse. But I've been here for eons. I have fed species greater than you, and I have starved species greater than you. My oceans, my soil, my flowing streams, my forests, they all can take you or leave you. How you choose to live each day, whether you regard or disregard me, doesn't really matter to me. One way or the other. Your actions will determine your fate, not mine. I am nature. I will go on. I am prepared to evolve. Are you?
Climate change. It's real, it's serious, and it's up to us to solve it. In the last 2 decades, we've experienced 14 of the hottest 15 years on record. By 2050, drought and chronic water shortages could impact 1 billion people, while millions more will be at risk from coastal flooding. It can seem overwhelming, but there's reason for hope. If we embrace solar and wind power to their full potential, we can cut the world's yearly carbon emissions by 1/3. Already, Germany generates 27% of its electricity from renewables, with a goal of 80% by 2050. Denmark has shown it can produce more wind energy than it can use, and England is building the world's biggest offshore wind farm. Communities large and small are taking steps. A new public building in Mexico City has an exterior that breaks down air pollutants, erasing the effects of 1,000 cars each day. Paris installed street tiles that harvest energy from foot traffic. Other cities are paving streets with smog-eating concrete and sidewalks with recycled materials. Individuals can make a difference too, through the choices we make every day. If every American driver drove 10 miles less each week, it could eliminate more than 100 billion pounds of carbon from the air each year. New innovations are making important strides possible, and more are on the way, but we can't wait. Reimagining our world's energy future will take a shared sense of urgency from countries, companies, cities, and all of us. Working together, real change is possible. Learn more at natgeo.com/climate.
Welcome to our Kamayan Forum, to our loyal followers, and to those who just joined in. Makakalikasang araw po sa ating lahat. Allow me to walk you through our pre-start program, which will begin with our Zoom etiquette, followed by an opening prayer and the Philippine National Anthem. Moreover, we are also live now on our Green Convergence GCFB page. Please like, share, and follow us for more updates, programs, and activities. Maraming salamat po! Let us join Sister Angelina Villanueva, Senecal sister, partner of Laudato Si Movement Pilipinas, in leading us.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Spirit of love and truth, open our minds, hearts, and persons to listen carefully this afternoon to the presentations and exchanges regarding the planned Pasig River Expressway, a 6-lane elevated infrastructure to be built on top of the Pasig River. Help us to discern the pros and cons of this project and to choose what we see as best for the environment, our culture, and our people, especially the most vulnerable among us. Everything is interconnected. This expressway aims to contribute to the efficiency of our country's transport system. Help us to take our responsibility to care for our common home seriously and try to leave the Pasig River to future generations in a way for them to appreciate it as beautiful, refreshing, and clean. We ask this in the name of Jesus, who lives and reigns with you and the Father forever and ever. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiging telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon, everyone! Muli, isang makakalikasan, mainit at masayang pagbati sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Kamayan para sa Kalikasan, a public forum held every third Friday of the month since March 1990. This is episode number 401, and it is brought to you by Green Convergence for Safe Food, Healthy Environment, and Sustainable Economy, or simply GC, and Kamayan Restaurant. Our episode today will look into the pros and cons of the planned Pasig River Expressway, or PAREX, a 6-lane infrastructure to be built above the Pasig River. I can't wait to find out more about it, really, and how it will impact our lives. We are currently live streaming at the Green Convergence Facebook page, in case you want to invite friends to join us. Later, a video recording will be uploaded to the GC website and the GC YouTube channel. I'm your moderator, Marie Marciano, a founding director and former vice president of GC, and a lifetime worker, advocate, and volunteer of various causes and organizations, particularly for environmental protection, justice, and human rights. And now it's time to welcome our co-moderator, who has been an Earth defender since his high school days. He is the host of Boses ng Kalikasan and is a member of the Board of Trustees of Green Convergence. At the same time, he is president of the Green Party of the Philippines and vice president of Bayanihan para sa Kalikasan Movement, Inc., as well as a content creator and influencer. And here he is, David D'Angelo. Hello, David.
Thank you and mga kalikasang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Maraming salamat. Ma'am Marie, it's nice to see you again. No? At magka-tandem na naman tayo dito sa very, very, I would say, exciting and in some ways divisive issue. And we hope to gain a lot from the discussion on the Pasig River Expressway. I will try my best to be as objective as possible with this issue. Before that, let's welcome all of our guests for today's Kamayan Forum. I understand that we have a bit of, it's not easy really to get guests about this time, but we are lucky today that we have our guests and we have our participants from various sectors. We have people from the Ilog Pasiglahin movement. We have people from the academe as well as students and of course members of Green Convergence and the member organizations. We also have representatives from the Move as One coalition. And this will be, I'm sure, I hope it will be a very, very enlightening discussion.
I'm sure it will be. I'm excited too. Kasi, I know not many people know about this, right? Parang hindi siya masyadong matunog. So, I'm really curious to find out what this will bring to us, no?
And our lineup of speakers is really also very interesting.
Yes,
and
we're
they would
fortunate
share various angles about this project.
Yes. Okay, so let's begin our forum with the opening remarks of our former longtime president of a former longtime president of Green Convergence. You all know her. Currently, she is the director of Ako Ang Bukas movement, or AAB, a movement for a quantum leap to climate neutrality by 2050. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Angelina Nina Galang.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Nina.
Hello.
Good
Nice to have you
afternoon.
again. It's always nice to have you.
I'm always here.
Yes.
And I'm honored
But-
that I am given this task of giving the opening remarks since our president and vice president are both very busy. It's been a busy week. There are so many
I
conferences
know. Mhm.
going on, especially on climate change, since the conference of parties is about to be held. But I'm glad that, we are consistent in holding our Kamayan every third Friday of the month. And for our usual guests, participants, always here. And I'm glad that we have new participants and friends who we hope will be constant attendees likewise. As Marie said, this is the first of our second 400 Kamayan sessions, of our next 400 Kamayan sessions.
Yeah.
And I'd like to give to acknowledge Marie, who has been with this program since the beginning as a host often, because her brother was one of the founding members, Ding Reyes, our very, very good friend. And it's Marie's constancy, commitment, which has been a big part of the staying power of Kamayan. And of course, now we have David, our new co-moderator, always willing to help out in whatever capacity he can in our Green Convergence activities. And I know he will stay with us all through the next 400 sessions.
We'll be happy to.
Okay, good. We're happy to have you, David. Okay, as Marie said, we're all eager to know about PAREX, or the Pasig River Expressway. The traffic in Metro Manila is legend. It's already world famous. EDSA, of course, has been notorious. Sometimes it is described as a parking lot rather than a highway with cars moving, so that it has spawned innovations like the busway, and then lanes exclusively for buses so that they can go fast, and then lanes exclusively for bike and motorcycles. Still, it's still traffic. But so are the alternatives like Katipunan. You know, people avoid Katipunan like the plague, especially when it's going to school and getting out of school time for the schools in the Katipunan belt. And also because it's an alternative to EDSA. And so are Araneta, Rizal Avenue, Ross Boulevard, you know. I don't know how Waze does it. Sometimes they give us a route, but it's just as bad going from one place to another. But all these are actually Katipunan, EDSA, Araneta, they're all north to south highways. The Parex, which will be an elevated expressway above Pasig River, is east to west. So it will go practically all the way from the beginning to the end of Pasig, practically, or more or less. Pasig, we know, goes from the Laguna Lake to Manila Bay. Passing Mandaluyong, Pasig, Manila, and all the rivers and river rivulets in our cities, San Juan, Quezon City, contributing to the Pasig in some way or another, tortuous or directly. Well, will the Parex help decongest our travel system, our road system? The Parex is supposed to have ramps which will connect it to the busy points in Makati, Pasig, Manila, etc. Will it help decongest? Will it help people move faster? And as an environmental group, we are very interested in what it will do to the ecology of the Pasig River. The Pasig is supposed to be dead, although we have a program to rehabilitate it. What will it do to the efforts? Or will it just be counterproductive and just negate all the efforts that are being done to clean it up? Or will it just be deader than dead, the Pasig River? So all these things, I think, are questions that I hope will be answered to a greater or lesser extent by our guest speakers. And we're grateful that they took time to join us, to inform us and enlighten us on this very new but surely significant project. We hope that the social aspects, the economic aspects, and definitely the environmental impacts will be touched upon. So again, thank you to our speakers, and thank you all for coming, GC members, allies, and people who love the earth. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Nina. Moving on, allow me to give you a brief description of the program flow so that the new attendees will know what to expect. The regular attendees know this already. They've heard it 1,000 times. It's simple. We have two major parts. Part one is when we listen to the presentations of our resource speakers without interruption, meaning no questions will be entertained at this time. It is advisable, therefore, to write down your questions so that you won't forget. Part 2 is the open forum. Here you can ask your questions to be answered directly by the resource speakers. Today we have two speakers, and a panel of 2 reactors. Your questions can be directed to any of them. So, David, I believe you have guidelines for the participants.
Yes, Marie, thank you for that. And guidelines to everyone, since this is an online discussion. Please avoid distracting ambient noise. All participants are requested to keep your microphones on mute for the duration of the webinar, except during the open forum, where participants are welcome to speak and ask questions. And meantime, you may use the chat box for comments, reactions, or messages. Marie? On to our first speaker for today's forum.
Right, David. Thanks for those reminders. Know what? I also can't wait to listen to our speakers. I'm really so curious about Parex. And so, without further ado, I'm happy to introduce our first speaker. He is an alumnus of Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, a former project engineer of the Kapit Bisig para sa Ilog Pasig of ABS-CBN Foundation, and a former Deputy Executive Director for Operations and Technical Services of the Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission under Ms. Gina Lopez's leadership as PRRC Chair. He was also one of the youth ambassadors of goodwill of the Philippines, representing the country in 1989 in ASEAN countries like Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Japan under the SHIP for Southeast Asian Youth Program. We are fortunate to have with us Engineer Richard G. Peñaflor. Good afternoon, Engineer.
Good afternoon, Engineer Rich.
Where is he? Oh,
Nakamute ka. Yan.
Sorry po.
Okay.
Muli,
Welcome.
magandang hapon po. Thank you, Ms. Marie and Sir Senat po. To the participants, para dito sa ating it's an opportunity to share about the
Engineer,
Yes, po.
your sound is not so good. Can you fix it a bit?
Oh, medyo hindi maganda yung ano.
Yan, mas okay. Mas okay.
Yan, mas okay.
Hindi
Yan.
ako.
We can hear you better now.
Okay, so baka may ano lang. So muli, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Isang makakalikasang hapon sa lahat, and it's an opportunity na makapag-share about the Pasig River, having been involved with the Pasig River Rehabilitation for almost 7 years under Ma'am Gina Lopez. So ang Pasig River is the lifeline of our nation. It's a 25.2 kilometers traversing from as far as Rizal area and until sa Manila. So sabi nga ni Ma'am Nina kanina, it traverses a lot of cities and municipalities. Di ba sinabi, sinabi nga na yung mga names ng mga municipality at cities na yon is hango sa name ng Pasig River. Like Mandaluyong, Daluyong is the wave. Yung Pasig, ganun din. Yung Makati, it speaks about yung ebb or yung tide din ng water. So makasaysayan po ang Pasig River. I think meron po akong try ko pong i-share yung aking screen. So sana mag-work po ito.
Sana nga.
Nakikita po ba?
Yes, it's good.
Pero mukhang nasa huli na po ako. Sandali puntahan ko lang po yung pinaka-up.
Ayan.
Okay. Sige po. So umpisahan po natin yung ating pagbabalik tanaw kung ano ba ang Pasig River. So as we have been sharing, the Pasig River is the lifeline of our nation. Ito yung most of the rivers in the world, doon nag-umpisa ang mga seats of civilization. So especially sa ating Pasig River, maraming mga natayong cities, municipalities out of the Pasig River. So as I have said, 25.2 kilometers yung tinatraverse ng Pasig River. Maraming historical at makasaysayan po na nagsulputan sa Pasig River. Sinasabi po na ang river are the veins of our nation. Pag ang isang river, clogged siya, hindi nagpa-pass through ang water doon, it can be compared to a sick man. So in the 1970s, 80s, Pasig, ang Philippines was compared as a sick man of Asia dahil maraming mga tributaries na hindi nagpa-pass through. So parang ganoon din ang Pasig River. Whereas, kung wala pong mga bara sa daluyan ng ating mga tubig, we can be considered as healthy people, healthy citizens of the Filipino. So ito po yung state of the Pasig River, tributaries before Gina Lopez came into picture. Alam po natin na yung baton
Boarding
was
na?
to Ma'am Gina Lopez by Ma'am
Boarding
Nick
na? Ano ka answer?
piso para sa Ilog Pasig.
Okay.
Ito po yung sitwasyon ng Pasig River tributary. So nakikita niyo po yung San Juan River, Cerro de Vitas, Cerro de la Reina, Binondo, na punong-puno po ng mga basura na nakatumbak doon dahil ang mindset ng mga tao, ang mga river o kailugan is tapunan ng basura, which is we try to change it during the time of Ma'am Gina Lopez. We started with Estero de Paco. Ito po yung mga picture nung Estero de Paco. Yung Estero de Paco is the most problematic tributary of Pasig River. So naisip that time ni Ma'am Gina Lopez na kapag na-solve natin ang problema sa Estero de Paco, it can be used as template in cleaning all the 46 tributaries feeding to the Pasig River. Nasa 3 kilometers po yung ng Estero de Paco, and we started rehabilitating it. Ito po yung sa part ng Paco Market. This was in 2009. Yung long deposition of the garbage, yung mga bata po, nakakapaghabulan kami dito sa mga basura na yan. Yung long deposition ng mga basura na yan, nag-thickened na yan, so nakakapaghabulan kami on top of those boulders of waste and garbage. Pero in 2010, to the next part, ito po ang naging nalinis po yung Estero de Paco na yon, and then nagkaroon po siya ng mga floating gardens through the courtesy of the ABS-CBN Foundation at saka ng Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission. Ito yung sa part ng 13 de Agosto, marami pong mga informal settlers na nandoon, and yun nga, sad to say, tapunan lang talaga siya ng basura. And most of the informal settlers, yung kanilang mga makeshift houses doon, wala pong mga palikuran. So yung mga pupo, they just directly throw it doon sa ating mga kailugan. So you would imagine kung gaano kataas yung mga E. coli o mga bacteria na present doon out of the human waste. Pero ito na po yon na demolish yung mga informal settlers, na ilipat sila sa Bayan ni Juan sa Calauan, Laguna, and nagkaroon na po ng movement yung water doon. So ito na po yung mga tao on a weekends, they can hold party there, they can make mga usapan, mga meetings. So nagamit nila yung 3-meter easements na yon for their social activities. Ito naman yung sa Apasible to 13 area. So marami rin pong mga deposit na garbage doon, marami rin mga informal settlers, pero ito na po siya sa ngayon. So sinasabi nga po yung ating mga ilog, yung Pasig River, is salamin ng langit. Because kung malinis yung river mo, you don't have to look up, you just need to look down. Makikita natin kung gaano kaganda yung ating ang ulap, ang ating kalangitan. So yun, in some areas po, nagtayo pa nga nung na-rehabilitate na yun, nagtayo ng mga condominium, nagtayo po ng mga hotel doon. Dahil nakita nila, very promising yung area na yon. So ito yung sa side ng Apasible to UN Avenue. Ito yung elementary school. So ito na po siya ngayon. Ito naman, yung mga residente po doon, nagtayo sila ng mga tree houses doon. And then, yun, pwede nilang pahingahan. So, at night, ito naman yung magandang scenery ng Estero de Paco. Medyo ano lang po. I-share ko po yung what we did in the Pasig River by means of isang video. Sandali lang po. This is what we've done in the Estero de Paco area in 60 minutes. Yung 12 months na ginawa po namin, we'll be sharing you a video in 60 minutes, 60 seconds. Okay po, so let's just continue. So this is what the interventions made the KBPIP and PRRC, yung relocation of the informal settlers, yung connecting the households, septic tanks sa Maynila and Manila Water kasi marami po sa atin during that time, mga nasa 40 to 50% lang yung connected sa mga STPs. So through the initiative of Ma'am Gina Lopez, she talked to the water companies na i-connect yung mga septic tank, yung mga households doon sa Maynila and Manila Water. And then we did some dredging and cleanup operations, easement construction, bioremediation technology, phytoremediation, aeration system, construction sa mga materials recovery facility, and training of the river warriors who are the residents in that area. And then there were a lot of IECs and awareness through marathons, fun run, and discussions in the area. Okay, so ito po yung mga river warrior. Training din po dun sa area na yon through participation po ng Philippine Army. So marami tayong mga na-train na river warriors in Manila, Quezon City, Mandaluyong, San Juan area. Even yung mga septic tanks were connected by the Maynilad and the Manila Water. Tapos nagkaroon po tayo ng mga fun runs, marathon runs, wherein nakuha nga natin yung 10-10-10 run na naging ano tayo doon, naging record holder tayo sa Guinness World of Record. Ito naman yung isang just near the Malacanang area, yung San Miguel area, which also did rehabilitated in 2010 to 2012. Ito yung previous niya, ito na yung present ngayon. Ito yung nasa Nepomuceno to Picasal area. Ito yung sa gilid ng Central Escolar University. Ito na po siya ngayon. So through efforts, yung ating pagkakapit-bisig, masosolve natin yung problema sa Pasig River. As opposed dun sa sinasabi natin na Pasig River is dead. Hindi po patay ang Pasig River. I categorically share that na hindi patay ang Pasig River. Dahil meron tayong mga data to show that. These are just two of the tributaries or esteros feeding to the Pasig River. So Pasig River is not biologically dead because nung gumawa po ng Pasig River Unified Monitoring Scheme, PRUMS, ang PRRC, nakita natin doon yung mga BOD level, biochemical oxygen demand, yung mga chemical oxygen demand, yung mga dissolved oxygen level, nag-fail siya before, but when we did the interventions, the rehabilitations, nag-pass na po siya. Nagpa-pass po in some data. So like ito po yung BOD level in some areas in 2011 and 2012, nakapass na po siya. Ang level po doon is 10 ppm. So may mga records tayo to show that Pasig River is not dead. Ito naman yung sa BOD level in Pasig River area na mismo, may mga different stations po na nilagay doon. And then yung ating E. coli, yung dating mga billions of level, ayun, nakapagtala tayo doon na kaya nating pababain yun into 500 MPN. So ito po, mapoprove natin na Pasig River is not dead. Yung mere indications that there are birds flying over the Pasig River is an indication na meron na siyang life on the Pasig River. Kasi di ba pagka malinis yung river natin, there will be proliferation ng mga plankton organisms, ng mga small fishes. And then yung mga ibon na lumilipad, that's an indicator po na buhay yung ating Pasig River. Ito yung mga pictures that was taken in 2017. We started rehabilitating the esteros in 2009 because during that time, nakita ni Ma'am Gina Lopez na pag nirehabilitate mo yung Pasig River mismo, may hirapan. So whereas, why not attack the tributaries or the small rivers feeding to the Pasig River para minimal na lang yung ating effort na gagawin sa Pasig River mismo. So ito po, marami pong mga sightings of terns and gulls at saka mga different species of bird flying over the Pasig River, which is an indication, it's an indicator na buhay po ang Pasig River. Ito pa po yung mga plano during that time ni Ma'am Gina Lopez na magkaroon ng mga mangrove strip doon na po sa outflow na going to the Manila Bay area. So lagyan siya ng mga plants on the sides. At the same time, mas palakasin pa yung ating river ferry system. Unfortunately, ang nangyari po in 2019, Gina Lopez died, pero marami po siyang na-create na little Gina Lopez, which is isa na po ako doon. And during that time, yung ginagawa yung stage 3 ng stage 3 po nung tawag nito, yung stage 3, yung mga leaders po or mga leaders ng Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission, sinabi nila constructing the stage 3 po nung tawag nito, nung stage 3 po ng ating bridge na magta-traverse from magke-create siya ng magke-create po siya ng flooding in area of Santa Mesa, San Juan area. So, ang nangyari, pinatawag po sila sa Malacanang. They thought that they will be given a pat on the back because of the study na sinasabi na constructing a highway over the San Juan River will inundate or babahain yung area na yon. So, pinatawag sila sa Malacanang. Akala nila they will be given a pat on the back. Pero ang nangyari po, they were asked to recant yung kanilang position paper na wag i-oppose yung stage 3 bridge na yon. And then, unfortunately, after 3 months, inabolish na yung Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission during the time of President Digong. So wala na pong kumukontra o nag-guide ngayon para sabihin na yung mga projects na ginagawa sa Pasig River are opposing or hindi nakakatulong in order for us to preserve the Pasig River. So ito po, in I think 2021 or 2020 nag-start ang San Miguel Corporation to have the scoping mechanism na nagkaroon ng consultations over the PAREX. So yung 90 meters na width ng Pasig River, iko-construct to ng Pasig River Expressway, which is practically kung ang length mo or ang width mo ng PAREX around 80 meters, so tatakpan mo yung buong Pasig River. So ito po yung mangyayari nun. Mawawala talaga ang Pasig River, which is the lifeline of our nation. So on a personal note, I personally and strongly oppose the construction of the Pasig River Expressway for 4 reasons. Number 1, PAREX will just add more decay to the Pasig River, the lifeline of our nation. Putting an expressway on top of Pasig River would just change the natural habitat and nature interaction between land, water, and sky. Di ba po, yung mga na-construct on top of something, yung mga nasa ibaba doon, nawawala ng silbi, namamatay. So number 2, this is not a solution to traffic congestion but will encourage proliferation of more private vehicles. Mass public transport system is still the key to traffic decongestion. Yung sinasabi nila na magkakaroon ng skyway over the Pasig River, madedecongest. I think fake news po yan. It will not solve our traffic problems. And then the main objective daw is to generate more income for SMC, my former employee. Empleyado po ako ng San Miguel before. It is just a ploy solving traffic decongestion. Cleaning the Pasig River and complementing the Pasig River should be the way. Tapos it also diminishes people contact and appreciation of the river and waterway system. So mawawala yung mental health natin. We are supposedly stewards and caretakers of our environment, not destroyers of our nature. Meron po akong suggestion in order para malabanan natin yung PAREX. Bakit hindi na lang gawin ng San Miguel Corporation na intensify yung use of the Pasig River Ferry? Lagyan ng mga different stations. And in fact, I think there was a plan before na magkaroon pa ng station from Cavite at saka Rizal area na magta-traverse, na magko-conversion into Manila area. So why not SMC can add more ferry boats and ferry station? Much better if they apply for its private operation. And then, why not maximize the utilization of circumferential road, yung C6? Right now po, yung C6, hindi siya na-maximize yung paggamit doon eh. Why not mag-create ang San Miguel doon at ang government para mas ma-utilize in 100% yung C6 road, especially in Pasig and Taytay area. We need to widen that road of C6 and install more lighting, especially during at night time. Rather than mag-construct ka ng highway o ng expressway on top of the Pasig River, why not explore this area na masosolve mo yung decongestion because you'll be using the Pasig River as ferry system and then yung circumferential road to do that. So I think we need to give back to our environment for our future generations to enjoy it. I-preserve natin what is Pasig River. Hindi patay ang Pasig River. And at the same time, Pasig River is the lifeline of our nation. What just we need to do is to discipline our people na mahalin yung ating kalikasan. So I would say no to PAREX. So with that po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa Green Convergence, sa Green Party of the Philippines, sa Kapit Bisig para sa Ilog Pasig, sa PRRC na sana maibalik ulit yan. I think may mga hugong-hugong po na ibabalik at present administration. At saka yung isang grupo po na kinabibilang ko rin yung Green Responsibility for Ecological and Environmental Nurturing. So dun po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and hopefully I was able to share about yung beauty at saka yung good impact ng Pasig River. So let's say no to Parex, no to Pasig River Expressway. Magandang hapon po muli sa inyong lahat.
Wow, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Richard
Rich.
Peñaflor. Napakaganda nung statement niya na sinabi niya that according to studies pala, Pasig River is not biologically dead. So we still have hope for the Pasig River. No? Kasi yung mga ibon nga naman, I remember, Ma'am Marino, one time we have this heritage walk sa Pasig River. Talaga nakita ko personally na may ibon eh. May ibon talaga na bumaba doon, gumanon doon sa tubig, tapos lumipad uli. So isa yun sa evidence. Well, anyway, let's go.
You know what?
Mhm.
I like yung sinabi ni Rich na madaming little Ginas na,
Mhm.
na
Maraming
nabuhay. No? Kasi
na-inspire.
actually, Rich, parang kapatid pala kita eh. I was also with ABS-CBN and I worked very closely with Gina sa Bantay Kalikasan at saka doon. Yeah, I was the first executive director of Bantay Kalikasan. And also, I was head of production of yung mga yung mga TV shows na may advocacy like Bayani, Hiraya Manawari,
Bayani.
tsaka yung mga ganon. Yeah.
Bayani.
You remember?
Yeah, I've been watching
Yeah,
that
I used
when
to
I
write
was
scripts for
in
those
college and high school.
shows.
Ang ganda ng mga
Yeah.
palabas na yun.
At saka
Sayang nawala na, no?
Eskwela.
Tayo
Sineskwela.
na sa sineskwela.
Yeah. Tapos
Tanda
tapos
pa.
nga, she took me to do the Bantay Kalikasan. So, I feel a link kay Rich. Thank you, Rich. Sige, go ahead na.
Let's introduce, I think, our next speaker. Pero before that, naalala ko rin yung pagsama namin dyan. We cosplayed heroes, no? And nandun kami, tinulungan namin yung mga bata to clean one of the esteros. So napaka-interesting talaga. So to note, we invited everyone, no, to have all sides of the issue dito sa Pasig River Expressway. In fact, Marie, we sent letters to the DNR and to DPWH to discuss the issue. Kaya lang, sabi nga ng DNR sa atin, there's pending submission by the end of the month of the San Miguel Corporation of the Environmental Impact Assessment, or EIA of the Pasig River Expressway. Let's introduce our next speaker. I hope that he is already here. I've been in constant communication with him by Facebook Messenger.
I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's here.
Yeah. Same here. Our next speaker is a digital creator, writer, and an environmentalist. He is a convener of Pinoy Aksyon, Filipino Action for Governance and the Environment, a non-profit volunteer organization that promotes responsible stewardship of the environment, fights for the people's freedom of expression, and upholds their patriotic duty to defend the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ben Cyrus Elorin.
Hello, Bensi. Bensai. Bensai, where are you? Are you there?
Sir, he's not here at the moment.
He's not there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What happened to him? He said yes.
Baka nasa baka may meeting, pero he's been seeing my messages naman on the messenger. And I think he said he will also be joining today para yung issue kasi natin, importante na Ma'am Marie. Kamayan Forum must be a very objective in discussing environmental
yes, we've always
issues.
tried to be to present both sides of an issue. Yeah. Kaya lang kung minsan hindi dumarating yung other side.
So should we wait or present our some of our reactors first?
Maybe. Wait. Maybe we should. pwede na ba tayo mag-react? Isa pa lang speaker.
Oo nga, wala pa yung other side of the
Maybe we can take
of the
some
issue.
questions kay Rich already.
Ah,
Kasi
yeah.
si Robert, I read sa kanyang chat that he has to leave early. So I was thinking to allow people to ask him questions later on. Let's make good use of our time. No?
Siguro let's have an open forum first for the sets. Let's try to change a bit the model of the Kamayan and give an open forum now for the
well,
presentation of
we have to
engineering.
adjust to the situation. Rich, I hope you don't mind if we open the floor for questions sa iyong presentation. Let's see, is there anyone who has a question? Alam mo, gandang-ganda ako dun sa mga
There's
pictures.
one. There's one.
Oh, there's one. Yeah.
Tessa.
Ito, I think maganda yung...
Is that Tessa? Tessa, go ahead,
Okay,
Tessa.
go ahead.
Yes, Tessa Oliva here of Green Convergence. Yeah, ang ganda talaga ng pinakitang photos, no, when it was rehabilitated.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I was just thinking, kasi the river actually is, the cities are interconnected, di ba? So the waste coming from other cities will pass through and go to the other cities as well. While they were trying to clean it, how were they able to prevent the waste from other cities to flow? Ano ba ang strategy ginawa nila para once it's clean, hindi na papasok doon yung mga kalat galing sa other cities? Because that's difficult. Kasi pag nalinis mo na, I'm sure dadating na naman yung waste coming from the cities. So how were they able to address this kind of situation? That's my question.
Go ahead, Rich.
Or tanggalin ko ulit yung aking ano. Yes, ma'am. Si Ma'am Nina Galang po ba yung nag-ask ng questions?
Nag-ask ng question si Tessa Oliva. She's our executive director.
Yeah, thank you po dun sa question na yan.
No.
Bawat po tributaries feeding to the Pasig River, meron pong ano doon, MMDA, meron silang trap mechanism na kukuha po yung mga ano doon. Meron silang parang mga tawag doon, garbage trap na nakano. At the same time, merong may mga floodgate na nandun po. So ma-observe niyo po yon. Ang MMDA po yung nagmamanage sa mga different floodgates na yun eh. So paglabas sa Pasig River, nare-rake out yung mga tons of garbage na yan. In fact, nung nagkaroon po tayo ng Ondoy, ang dami pong na-fish out ng mga furnitures, mga muebles.
My
Nakukuha
gosh.
ng ano yun, nakukuha ng Pasig River kasi kino-close nila yun eh. Tapos ang dami pong natatrap doon. So, yun yung good thing that MMDA was part of the PRRC before na namomonitor natin yun eh. At the same time, doon po sa mga maliliit po na mga kailugan, yung mga barangay, meron din silang i-install na mga parang fish net para to trap the mga pet bottles, yung mga plastics na nandoon eh. Kasi nabibenta na yung mga plastics ngayon eh.
Yes.
So, dapat yung practice na ginagawa, until now, ganun pa din yun. Para minimal po yung pagpunta ng mga solid waste doon sa Pasig River. Para makikita mo na lang talaga are the water lilies floating in the Pasig River. At saka yung mga lumalangoy na tilapia at saka yung mga imelda fish na yan. So it's a good thing that MMDA are there at meron silang mga MMDA floodway na nagko-control po ng mga basura na yun. At the same time, numero uno po talaga is the disiplina ng mga tao. Yun po ang number one natin. Dapat yung mindset natin o yung ano natin sa kailugan, these are source of food. These are source of
Hindi
fishes.
basura. Hindi basuran.
Tapunan ng basura. Yung basura para yan ibenta. Dahil sabi nga natin, may pera sa basura. Ang pumupunta dapat sa ating mga dam site, around 5 to 6% lang. Kaya lang sa kawalan ng disiplina ng mga tao ngayon, nasa 60 to 70% ng basura natin nandun sa dam site. So isa ring problema yun na kailangan tutukan din nating mga green advocates. So yun po yung solusyon natin doon. Yung paglalagay po ng mga MMDA floodway, maglalagay po ng mga garbage trap doon sa mga areas. That will solve the solid waste problem.
Hi, thank you. Sana tuloy-tuloy pa din tong practice na to, no? Para we can keep the Pasig clean.
Ano nga po meron akong proposal na ibalik sana yung PRRC. Meron akong parang ginawa yung PRADA, Pasig River Administration and Development Authority. Kasi during our time, ang PRRC wala siyang police power. Hindi siya pwedeng manghuli. So dapat meron pang another agency to do that. So dapat ko ibabalik yon. Sana under the leadership ni BBM. Alam ko merong niluluto sila eh. Gawing Prada yan. Prada. Not the clothing it should be Pasig River Administration and Development Authority na pwede lang manghuli ng mga violators ang
That's
Pasig
good.
na yan.
Magandang idea.
That's a good proposal, Rich.
Ganda, magaling.
Galing.
Before we go to Dr. G's question, let's first go to the question on our chat box. Ang sabi dito, why did the piso para sa Pasig o First Lady Ming Ramos
Thank you, Engineer, for
fail?
your...
Ayan. Dr. G, bago yung sa'yo, yan ko muna to, yung question natin sa chat
Okay,
box. Bakit daw po yung piso para sa Pasig ni First Lady Ming Ramos? Ano daw po bang nangyari doon? Question from Oli Villapuerte. Nag-fail po ba or was it the Gina Lopez continued it under a different name?
Maganda po yung ginawa ni First Lady Amelita Ming Ramos na inumpisahan niya yung piso para sa Pasig. Nagkaroon ng awareness yung mga tao na dapat talaga buhayin at pangalagaan yung ating Pasig River. Maraming nakalap po na fundings for that. In fact, yung ginagamit namin dating service vehicle galing yun sa piso para sa Pasig. Tapos merong iniwan na I think 1 million na ipinasa kay Ma'am Gina Lopez. Pero hindi sapat yung finances na yon to do the very gigantic problems in the Pasig River. Ang maganda pong nagawa nagkaroon ng awareness. So being the First Lady, marami siyang nagawa doon. Ang medyo hindi lang po na accomplish during that time, yung pagre-relocate ng mga informal settlers. So which is yun ang nakitang area ni Ma'am Gina Lopez. Pag na-relocate mo to, tapos yung mga tao doon, i-train mo as a river warrior, malaki na yung impact na mangyayari sa mga tributaries ng Pasig River. When we were doing the rehabilitation of the Pasig River, akala namin lilinisin lang namin yung mga ilog at saka yung mga yung river na yan. Pati yung buhay ng mga tao nalinis namin dahil may mga dating mga pickpockets doon, may mga dating mga prostitutes na bago pati yung buhay nila. So yun yung sigurong hindi lang na-accomplish during that time. Pero yun nga, yung through times na nade-develop, nagkakaroon ng mga bagong ideas. So I think successful si First Lady Ming Ramos in terms of gisingin yung diwa ng bawat Pilipino na tuunan ng pansin ng Pasig River.
Tama yun kasi parang Ma'am Marie, engineer, mula sa kailangan mo munang gisingin yung natutulog na kamalayan para sila kumilos. So napakaganda na. So successful. Magandang analysis yun. Successful naman yung kay former First Lady Ming Ramos. Now let's go to the question. Yeah? Yes, Ma'am Marie. Go ahead.
That's why I when I was president of Mother Earth Foundation at one time, and we were training whole LGUs sa waste management, solid waste management. And nakita namin talaga na yung environment, kung malinis, kung maayos, alam mo, nalilinis din yung buhay at yung kaisipan at yung puso ng mga tao. Hindi na sila nagda-drugs, they found better things to do. So magkakabit talaga yan. So I designed a course called Inner Ecology, and we always gave that first before giving the solid waste management training at that time, kasi yun yung motivational, yun yung you start with yourself, ano ba yung, kasi hindi pwedeng from outside lang, kailangan galing sa'yo, bakit mo to gagawin, bakit mo to gagawin? Kasi tao ka. Kasi tao kang mabuting tao na may responsibilidad sa buong mundo, no? Parang ganun. So, I was very happy with that course kasi madami talagang nagsasabi na it changed their perspective, no, sa kanilang power, sa kanilang sariling power, na meron pala silang power individually, no? So, yun, it starts with yourself. Yun.
Interconnectedness talaga na
Oo,
kailangan i-connect
interconnected
natin sa
talaga.
kanila. So yan, with our next question, Dr. G, you were raising your hands before.
Yeah. Thank you, engineer, for your enlightening presentation. I'm just curious. It's supposed to be an elevated expressway. How elevated is it? So will it cover the whole Pasig? I mean, or will it be parang on stilts na mayroong mga columns that will support it, and how high will that be? Gaya ng mga sa SLEX, merong nasa taas, merong sa baba, no? Is it going to be like that? And how will it impact the, as you showed us, that some people already built structures because the Pasig is now clean and pleasant, like condominiums, they build condominiums. So if you build that elevated highway, how will it impact those structures that were built because the Pasig is already pleasant? Magiging maingay yun, di ba? So they should also oppose it. And of course, I think the ecology, as you said, it will be affected, no? The interaction between and among the land, the water, and air will be affected, and the life, the biodiversity in the river will be affected. So, but you know, that's my question. I'm just curious, how high will that elevation be? Yun ang question ko.
I think mas alam po yan, taga-DNR or si Mr. Robert C. Mas nagkaroon ng in-depth study doon, and even si Paul Alcázar rin in one of the discussions na na-discussion. Pero ang width po kasi ng Pasig River is nasa 90 meters. And during the discussion with the DNR people, yung scoping mechanism, parang sinasabi nila na parang yung highway, yung skyway, RX will have mga 60 to 80 meters. So practically, i-cover niya yung Pasig River dahil 90 meters. So kung meron kang highway na 80 meters, talagang i-cover mo yon. Ito yung hindi masagot ng DNR and SMC. So Robert C. can discuss more about this. Mr. Robert?
Yeah. Thank you, Engineer Rich. I'll have a lot more to say later when I have a chance to react. But on this question, you know, how high will the Pasig River Expressway be? If you look at, the bridges across the Pasig, the expressway will be above the bridges. Can you imagine how tall the expressway will need to be in order to clear the structures? In certain portions, we estimate that the expressway will be about 6 stories high. And in some portions, it is like, of course, it is 6 lanes, right? 6 lanes wide. So it's a very, very large structure that will be elevated above the Pasig River. So in some portions where the Pasig River is narrow, it will cover the entire Pasig River. And in other sections, it will cast a very large shadow. So this, of course, also has a significant environmental impact. When you reduce the amount of sunlight that is allowed to fall on the river, then it will affect all the organisms that thrive in that river. So thank you po.
Isang comparison po, yung tinayo yung mga LRT natin, LRT 1 at LRT 2. Yung dating Good Earth Emporium, yung dating Arcegas, yung dating Magnolia, parang take of the past na sila eh. Diba, before, yun yung puntahan. Uh, yung puntahan ng mga tao, yung Good Earth Emporium along Avenida, yung Arcegas Royal along Aurora Boulevard, tsaka yung Magnolia. Nung tinayo po yung mga LRT na yan, parang nawalan sila ng silbi na rin. So parang hindi na sila nag-thrive. So that's same parallelism when we do construct a highway over the Pasig River. Mawawala na yung connect ng mga tao dun sa river mismo na parang malilimutan na natin sila. FYI po, may mga rivers po na natakpan. I think somewhere in along PGH, merong isang river doon na natakpan din eh. Merong isang estero po. So parang ganun po, nawawala sa kasaysayan. Much more po ang Pasig River na napaka malikhain, napaka makasaysayan. Yung lifeline of our nation, tatakpan mo. Kaya, no to Parex.
Thank you, Sir Robert and Engineer Richard. Ma'am Marie, i-line up lang natin. Mukhang marami-rami tayong questions for today. So, ila-line up natin yung mga
Kasi
magtatanong.
napaka-interesting, no? Pero I would just like to tell Alert Maribeth, please tell us kung nandyan si si Bensay.
Okay, our lineup of questions. First, Ma'am Angelina Villanueva raises her hand. Then we'll ask the question from Ellie and then from Sister Marta Gamolo DC. Ma'am Angelina Villanueva, you raised your hand earlier. Go ahead.
Sister Angie, go ahead.
Yes, Sister Angie, go ahead.
I am just curious kasi the speaker said that in 2019, of course, I knew that Gina Lopez died and a lot of things kind of got stopped. But I was wondering whether the work that she had done, is it at least being maintained man lang, or is it getting worse?
Thank you po, Ma'am Angelina Villanueva, for that. When Gina Lopez died in August 19, 2019, maraming na-create na Little Gina Lopez. So isa na po ako doon. Yung Kapit Bisig para sa Ilog Pasig under ng ABS-CBN Foundation, tinuloy pa rin. Although in 2020, di ba, nawala din po ang ABS-CBN, ipinasara din. Pero meron pong small group, yung Kapit Bisig, na under na sa ng Bantay Kalikasan. Tapos po yung PRRC na dating pinamunuan din ni Ma'am Gina Lopez, December 2019, it exists in operation. So lahat po anong mga tao doon tinanggal na. In fact, meron pang ongoing lawsuit yung mga tinanggal po na regular employee. There were 19 regular employees tapos lahat contractual na. So nagdemanda po sila sa government, sa CSC, kung bakit sila tinanggal po dun sa posisyon nila. May mga ano pa po na tinuloy naman kasi yung brother ni Ma'am Gina Lopez sa yung sister niya, sila na po yung nagmamanage ng ABS-CBN Foundation. So natuloy po naman yon. Ang nakikita ko lang po in terms of the funding, kasi most of the funding po kinukuha talaga sa nage-generate na income ng ABS-CBN network. Nung pinasara yon, basically wala na. So medyo bumaba na rin ng ano. And iba talaga yung charisma ni Ma'am Gina Lopez. Pero rest assured po, Ma'am Angelina, na with a small little Gina Lopez na na-create, itutuloy natin po ito. Like yung GPP Kalikasan, yung Green Party of the Philippines, ito pong Green Convergence, yung isang grupo, maraming na-inspire ng mga tao na ituloy yung ating mga, especially ngayon na ang laki ng banta ng climate change. So dapat po talaga magkaisa tayo para ituloy yung kung ano man yung naumpisahan in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Let's go to the
answer.
next question.
So this one is from Ellie. Would you know daw po what the carbon footprint of a ferry boat is? Kasi one more ferry boats pollute the Pasig River from spilled fuel, etc. Very interesting question itong sa ferry boat.
Ang alam ko po, nag-ooperate na yung ferry boat ngayon under the MMDA. Pero ang advantage niyan, 'di ba yung mga dating boat na nag-powered by coal. Alam naman natin, number one polluter talaga yung anything that is coal-driven. So ang mga ferry boat na po, hindi naman po powered ng ano yan eh. So hindi ko lang sure kung diesel siya or gasoline powered yon. So kung diesel powered siya, medyo may problema tayo on that dahil malakas yung emissions niya ng carbon dioxide. Hindi ko sure po kung ilan yung carbon footprint ng mga ferry boats. So siguro we can research on that. Tingnan po natin. Pero nga, ang advantage lang noon, hindi siya yung dati na talagang coal yung ginagamit eh. Diba? Even nga po sa mga manufacturing company ngayon, nasa-substitute na ng 20% yung coal nila using plastic waste, yung tinatawag nating co-processing technology, meron ng ganun eh. So what more siguro sa mga ferry, kung may mga bagong inventions ngayon na gagamit ng mga electricity or mga renewable energy, much better na ngayon ang gamitin pong mga ferry boats natin. Assignment ko po yan. I'll check. Ayun, si Mr. Paulo Alcacer meron yatang knowledge on that. Sige. Yun po yung idea ko. Mababa po yung footprint as compared sa mga dating ginagamit.
Thank you, Engineer. I think we can request
Si
Paul
Mr. Paulo
Alcacer to if he could enlighten us on that matter para mas maging malinaw yung tungkol sa carbon footprint. Sir Paul Alcacer?
Yeah, thank you, David. Ang carbon footprint ng ferry boats kusang mas maliit kumpara sa 16 kilometer 6-lane highway na hundreds of thousands of cars use it every day. So it's a trade-off in terms of allowing another mode of transport compared to the car-centric na elevated skyway. We can reduce the carbon footprint of the ferry system. It depends on how well maintained the boats are and the practices of the ferry boat operator. So we can keep it to a minimum. Again, compared to the alternative na yung Parex, the ferry system would benefit the metropolis and the riding public more than, of course, the car-focused elevated Parex. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Paulo Alcacer. Napakaganda nung input na yan para tayo lahat well-versed kung ano ba talaga. Okay, let's go ahead for, I think, last two questions before we proceed to the next actor. Mga wala pa yung ating speaker. Sister Marta Gamolo, DC. Sister Marta, go ahead.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Sister Marta Gamolo, DC, daughter of Charity from Hospicio de San Jose. Sister Mars is my companion in the community. And actually, Hospicio de San Jose is one of the most vulnerable entities for Parex. That's why the first time I heard about it, even the previous administrator, we already opposed even with the idea of having Parex. And all their contentions they presented, and in fairness to them, though, they sent representatives to different organizations, especially those who are greatly affected. So actually, we received them. They represent the delegation from the project, and then we expressed to them our predicament, and also they said that they will have it also written as part of the report, so that the Parex committee would also have a balanced view, because they thought that Hospicio de San Jose is not really significant, no? So at least pumunta sila dito and we welcome them. And then when we express it, so they assured us, no, that they will also consider. And then they also mentioned that they suggested for some revisions on the plan, but just the same, we expressed our no to Parex. That's one. So and then we were told that even Ramon Ang, upon receiving so many oppositions, already have second thought. And then he in fact, according to the delegation, he in fact something like wanted to stop the project. But it's the government really who is pushing the project. So we have to pray for our government leaders that they would see our our advocacy, they would see also our reason for saying no to Parex. And then secondly, I was a student of San Beda when Gina Lopez started the cleanup, no? So I really witnessed how people help each other. Yung estero ng Legarda, no? I really saw the difference. So thank you so much po for that presentation. Nakakamiss lang talaga si Gina, no? And I continue to pray and hope that there will be more convergence, there will be more movements, no? Meron din tayong yung Ilog Pasiglahin. Maganda din yung kanilang advocacy. Young people are into it and they are being helped also by veteran advocates. So we just continue praying to the Lord that all this will come true, all our dreams, and at the same time, we continue to dialogue with the people. So in fact, our Auspicio de San Jose expressed our support to San Miguel for the ferry. Ang wish din po namin yung hydroelectric hydroelectric na sana, no, para mas safe siya. Yun po yung aming contribution dito sa mga usaping Parex. So no to Parex, yes to Pasiglahin. Ilog Pasiglahin. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Sister Martha. Ma'am Marie, I think yeah, you can ask Dr. G, I think, is raising her hand. Dr. G?
Yeah. I was looking at I researched on Google about the products, and it showed that there will be ramps along the Parex, one going to the Makati Business District, the other going to the Pasig District, the Business District. Parang you're just making people get faster to those doon din ma-traffic naman eh. Hindi ba? When you get to Makati, papasok ka sa Makati, doon ma-traffic, di ba? So, as Mr. Alcazaren said, you know, it's car-centered. The Parex is car-centered, and we don't need any more of that.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Katipunan has always been ma-traffic. Okay. And so the government said, let's widen it. They took out the islands para mas madali daw ang traffic. And what is it now? It is horrible. It's the traffic capital of Quezon City. And it has been shown by studies that the more you widen roads, the more the traffic will be attracted. Kasi they think, oy, malapad doon, we can pass there. But it attracts more traffic, and so it's an upward spiral. So having another highway, which is car-centered, will not solve our traffic problems. What, as has been said, the public transport system is what we should focus on if we are going to relieve ourselves of this problem. Thank you. That's a comment lang.
I have a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
Di ba may public hearings to? Hindi ba na-present itong mga ganito sa government? Kasi if you presented it this way and they didn't see it, parang nakatingin lang sila sa pera. That's how I feel about it. Ay, nakakasakit ng loob.
Mr. Robert yan. Mr. Robert, yung scoping mechanism, yung mga ginawa eh. Mr. Robert can answer.
Go ahead, Sir Robert.
You know, that's a very good question, Ma'am Nina. You know, when San Miguel was in the public scoping and public hearing meetings, they sell the project as a solution to traffic. And what we all know, right, from our observation is if you build more roads, you get more cars.
Correct.
And, you know, even, you know, Ramon Ang, he promised that traffic would be solved once we build the Skyway. Once we build the Skyway passing through the San Juan River. And today we can see even the Skyway itself is filled with traffic. You know, this evening we will see horrible traffic on the Skyway for sure. And we know this Pasig River Expressway, all the ramps, like Ma'am Nina mentioned, they go into very small streets,
Yeah.
right? So what happens is it will actually worsen the traffic on the ground all along the streets along the Pasig River. So instead of improving the traffic conditions of the local residents, it will make things worse. So it is really a false promise, this promise about improved mobility. So I think when we ask ourselves, what is the pro, what is the benefit coming from Parex, even the, even uh, what they say, the improvement in terms of traffic is just a false, a false benefit. It's actually should not entice any of us, and it will definitely bring so much more harm than good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir
Thank you.
Robert. And I think our next speaker did message me saying that sincerest apologies, he cannot attend the forum today. But to keep context, no, Pinoy Action during the one of the Parex forum which I also attended, na kung saan napagmitan kami ng mic ni Sir Robert, alam nila yon, yung scoping na hindi pinagsalita yung mga representatives ng Ilog Pasiglahin. I personally messaged Bensai because their stand of action is pro-Parex. Knowing Bensai from Partido Kalikasan way back 2003, he's an environmentalist, and I think Ma'am Marie knows him. Our conversation dwell on, he told me that why the very quick, obviously orchestrated opposition. Suddenly, lahat ng malasakit sa Pasig River, kung may discussion, anong basis daw ng discussion, wala pa nga daw detailed design. In fact, until now, the truth is the detailed design is not yet submitted, even according to the DNR. And he also added, why resort to false information since mali daw yung claim na the Parex will cover the entire Pasig River. So this is quoting from our actual exchange, no? Kasi I asked him, I personally know him, we're both in the same environmental circle. But I would not want to put words into his mouth and into their own organization. I'm sure they have their own reasons, and it's very unfortunate that he is not present here today. And without further ado,
you know what? I just feel it's a shame that he's not here to listen to all these, no? Kasi, I know Bensai as an environmentalist, matagal na. He was with my late brother who put up this Kamayan para sa Kalikasan with Vic Milan. And we used to have World Environment Day celebrations with him. So parang, di ba, ang tanong ko sa'yo, talaga, he is for Parex.
Very interesting.
Parang
That's why
believe it.
nag-PM talaga ako sa kanya noon kasi nabigla rin ako.
It would have been nice for him to listen to this discussion. Baka may konting light bulb na mabuksan sa kanyang isip. No? But anyway, since he's not here,
let's go ahead introducing our first reactor and formally introduce our reactor who has been helping us earlier. Ma'am Marie,
our first reactor is
but we will she agreed to switch places with the second reactor because
okay, ikaw
in
na
the interest of time. Okay.
Yes, ikaw na mag-introduce kay Robert.
Okay, he is a sustainable mobility advocate and is currently the advisor and co-convener of Move as One Coalition. Among his previous work experience includes the Department of Transportation, the Asian Development Bank, the World Bank, and the Asian Institute of Management. He is a PhD in City and Regional Planning at Cornell University and take BS Management Engineering at the Ateneo de Manila University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sir Robert C. from Move as One Coalition. Sir Robert?
Yes, thank you very much, Sir David. And I also want to thank Ma'am Marie and Green Convergence for inviting me and also for sponsoring this forum on Parex. We need to get more people aware of what's happening on the Pasig River and especially this big threat to the Pasig River, something that all of us should be concerned about. So I'd like to react to the great presentation by Engineer Rich. I'm a big fan of Engineer Rich, who I consider to be, you know, a true environmental champion and advocate, and also a, you know, one of the guardians of the Pasig River. I think he has shown us that the Pasig River is not dead, it is alive. And like Sir David was mentioning, you know, on any day you go there, there are people fishing, you know, there are people fishing and actually catching quite large fish from the Pasig River. And there are lots of birds. And actually, I think you know, this is really evidence that Pasig River is bouncing back and is more alive today, thanks to the very good efforts as presented by Sir Rich. You know, when Ramon Ang and San Miguel, when they talk about the Pasig River Expressway, they always say, ay, patay na yung Pasig River, it's dead. And in fact, this was in a way, the storyline of President Duterte when he abolished the Pasig River Commission. He basically declared that they failed in their mission, but actually the reverse is true. You know, the Pasig River Commission had accomplished a great deal. They achieved you know, very meaningful improvements in the water quality, and even today the same team is still measuring water quality of the Pasig River, and the improvement is continuing in water quality. I was just, you know, I'm happy to see Sister Martha today. Just this Monday, I was at the Hospicio de San Jose, which is right in the center of the Pasig River. And one of the staff from Hospicio went up to the mic and said, you know, I've been here working at Hospicio already 20 years, more than 20 years. And 20 years ago, you could smell the Pasig River, and there was a foul smell at that time. And today, people can attest that Pasig River is so much cleaner now, no more smell. People are very happy with the conditions today. There has been a lot of improvement. There could still be more, but definitely Parex would be a huge step backward. So I want to add a little bit more to yung points of Engineer Reach related to the environmental impact. So yung hinighlight ni Engineer Reach was about the impact on the ecology of the river. But one thing we know, once you put a 6-lane expressway on top of the Pasig, it will bring a lot of pollution because they're estimating there will be at least 40,000 motor vehicles passing through Parex every day. This will bring a lot of air pollution to all the communities along the Pasig. And we know the barangays along the Pasig River are all very densely populated. Second is the noise pollution, not just air pollution, but noise pollution. If you travel along North or South Expressway, the noise level from all the vehicles is very high. And noise pollution also has a health impact. This is something that we need to factor in also as one of the negative consequences of Parex. The third impact I would also add is additional heat. And heat comes not only from the motor vehicles, but there is something today which we call the urban heat island effect. When you have more concrete in a neighborhood, the concrete during the day absorbs the heat from the sun and continues to release it throughout the day. So what will happen to the communities along the Pasig? One of the biggest impacts is that the communities along the Pasig will be warmer. They will feel maybe between 3 to 5 degrees warmer temperatures because the expressway itself will be emanating heat all throughout the day and distributing it to the neighborhoods. I also want to add one point about disaster risk. And one point we have made sa Ilog Pasiglahin is that we are building, or they will be building, a very large structure in a high liquefaction risk area. So alam natin, pag may mga lindol, during earthquakes, the areas near an earthquake zone would have the threat of what we call liquefaction, meaning the soils become almost like water. They liquefy, and sometimes the structures can sink. And the highest, liquefaction risk area is right along a riverbed, because this is where you have a lot of sandy soils. And when you are going to build a structure that will sit on pillars that are driven into the riverbed, once you have a major earthquake, what will happen is if one of those pillars collapses, konektado lahat eh, there will be like a domino effect whereby, one pillar falls, it will cause a chain reaction along many pillars along the entire structure. And if that happens, the 6-lane expressway could actually fall into the Pasig River. And what happens there is that concrete structure, if it collapses, will block the Pasig River and prevent it from serving as a natural emergency corridor. During emergencies, the Pasig River serves also as a possible place for evacuation and also as a transportation route. But if it becomes also affected by an earthquake with the debris from the concrete expressway falling into the Pasig River, then we are also blocking an emergency corridor. So this is another aspect that we need to look at. I want to also add the point about yung Pasig River ferry. If you haven't tried using yung Pasig River ferry, I encourage you to do so kasi you will experience for yourself what a ferry ride would look like. Sa ngayon, there's an hourly ferry sa Pasig River. Excuse me. And for now, it is still free. The ferry system is being expanded through a public-private partnership project. You may have heard, some of you, about yung Manila Bay, Pasig River, Laguna Lake project. This is called the Mapalya project. Manila Bay, Pasig River, Laguna Lake project. So it is being prepared now. Gumagawa sila ng feasibility study, and I believe in 2024 there will be a bidding process where they will invite private investors to invest in a expansion and improvement project for this large ferry system. And if I am not mistaken, the ferry boats that they are planning to use will be fully electric. Today in the Chao Phraya River sa Bangkok, there is a similar ferry system using 25 electric ferry boats now serving the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. And this is something that could also be implemented along the Pasig. We don't need an expressway for cars to improve mobility. We need public transport, and public transport can be in the form of a ferry, an efficient ferry system that is clean and green. So this is one of the things we can look forward to. And please also follow what happens there. They said that the project will be ready for public bidding in 2024. I want to also maybe pose a question to Engineer Rich. You know, when we visited Hospicio de San Jose on Monday this week, what I discovered was that Hospicio de San Jose, this island, is in itself a barangay. So it has political, you know, it is a local government unit, and it can have a political voice. And what I heard from the meeting we had on Monday was that the residents of the barangay of Hospicio de San Jose oppose the Pasig River Expressway. What I would encourage Hospicio de San Jose to do is to make a public statement as a barangay to say that they, who are stakeholders and residents of the Pasig River, that they oppose the Pasig River Expressway, because a local government unit that objects to a project like this, that is a meaningful statement that has weight when the government looks at the views of stakeholders. And so the question I ask also to Engineer Rich, nakita natin so many communities were involved in cleaning the esteros, were involved in improving the Pasig River, and today they reap the benefits of that effort. I'm wondering whether we can use, in a way, that same energy to campaign with the barangays along the Pasig River so that the barangays themselves will also issue statements against PAREX. Kasi po, once we have local governments units, even at the barangay level, that oppose PAREX, it will have more weight. It will also add to our voices as civil society in terms of pushing back on San Miguel, on pushing back on this project. So I'll stop there and I'll be happy also to answer other questions. Thank you po.
Yun, maraming salamat. I think in order to continue with the program, napakaganda ng dalawang questions ni Sir Robert C. Ma'am Marie?
Yes, I was thinking, it's time for our photo op while everyone is here
Oh,
before
yeah.
Robert leaves, because he said he has to leave at 4:30. Let's have our photo op, and then let's have maybe one or two questions. Pwede ba, Robert?
Of course.
Oh, sige, okay.
Thank you, Sir Robert.
I think Maribeth, our Zoom host, should take over to direct the photo op.
Yes,
Maribeth?
kindly open your cams, your videos po. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Smile.
One more po.
Naka-vlog ka ba?
Po. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Interesting.
you.
Interesting yung update ha. Meron lang kayong permission to take your photo. Parang nagulat ako may
Oo nga.
lumabas na gano'n.
Oo nga. Kailangan na pala ngayon. No?
Maganda yung ano na yun. At least there's a security reason to this. I think bago makalimutan ni Sir Richard, Ma'am Marie, ni Engineer Richard, should we first go to Engineer Richard to answer the question posed by Sir Robert?
Sige.
Sige. Yeah. Maganda yung question ni Mr. Robert C. Isa rin sa mga idol ko nabasa ko yung mga pinablish niya sa
Mutual Admiration Society pala kayo.
Sa Inquirer. So sobra akong nagandahan sa mga publication niya. Doon ako napunta ngayon sa Ilog Pasig Lahin. Because yung nakita ko yung conviction Sabi ko, dapat ituloy talaga na no to Parex. Anyway, yung maganda po yung question nyo at yung suggestion nyo about dun sa Hospicio de San Jose. Dahil FYI, yung Hospicio de San Jose is na-formed because it's delta. Di ba? Yung island na yon is a delta. Parang dati wala yan. Tapos nagkaroon ng delta, nagkaroon ng deposition, nagkaroon ngayon ng island. Tapos nagpa-branch siya into two waterways. So kung gagawin natin yung Parex, so magkikreate tayo ng more Hospicio de San Jose. Magkakaroon tayo ng mga different deltas on doon traversing sa 25.2 kilometers ng Pasig River. Okay lang yun kung yung mga delta na makikreate ng Pasig River Foundation na yan, i-convert nila sa mga orphanages. Pero what if kung maging pugad yan ng mga basura lang, pugad yan ng mga masasamang elemento. So wala talaga magandang patutunguhan yan. So I think magandang initiative po yun na pwede ko pong on my part, i-mobilize ko po yung mga community organizers namin within the area. Kasi marami na tayong na-create po ng mga community organizers, mga river warriors So sila talaga yung bumababa para mas solid yung kampanya na para labanan po talaga itong Parex. So Sister Martha Gamolo, maganda po yung sitwasyon ng Hospicio de San Jose dahil delta nga yan isa classic example na create ng deposition ng island na nagkaroon ng ganon. So pwedeng sabihin natin sa kanila na there should only be one delta, there should only be one Hospicio de San Jose. No more to Parex na later on pag marami kang foundation yun, may ipon yung basura doon, magkakaroon ng mga different islands which is mababarahan talaga yung to and fro flow ng mga water sa Pasig River. So siguro po isa sa mga giging off-take itong ating discussion is we can mobilize yung mga river warriors, yung ating mga community organizers para mas labanan po ito. Nandyan lang po sila I think sila Bebot Corpus, sila Mike, nandyan lang po sila. So we can mobilize them para mas magkaroon pa tayo ng mas maraming boses siguro sa pamumuno po to ng Hospicio de San Jose.
Sige po, maraming salamat po. At saka in fairness naman po, so nagbisita sa amin, na-recognize nila yung historicity nito. Kasi ano din sila, registered din sila sa NCCA. Kaya nga po, pati sila nababahala. Tsaka nagiging katuwang din siya doon sa White Cross. So kilala nilang ospisyyo, kaya po sila nagmadaling pumunta rito nung malaman nila na magpuposte sana sa nguso ng ospisyyo ng island ang PAREX. So nabahala, sila mismo ang nabahala. At ito ay na-forward din nila kay Ramon Ang. Kasi yung nga sabi nila po, kung si Ramon Ang daw yung nag-ano, parang kaya nga hindi siya wala pa daw talaga pong clear na ano, kaya hindi matuloy-tuloy. Dahil marami opposition, lalo-lalo na sa heritage. So idasal lang po natin ang government mismo na ang aayaw kasi kung sa part ni Ramon Ang daw, naaano na rin siya dahil sa marami talagang nag-o-oppose. So hopefully po ang government mape-pressure. Nag-attend po actually ako noong DNR forum, no? Pero yun hindi lang sa Pares kundi sa lahat na po ng mga projects ng DNR at natakol din po ito. Kaya lang siguro nga mas nauna sa kanilang mindset yung negosyo, hindi nakikita yung kagandahan. Witness po talaga ako noong naayos ito, na dredge ito ni Ming. Kaya marami talagang mga ibon, no? So maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng inyong mga pagsisikap.
Hey. Thank you, sister. Si Robert. Robert has something to say.
Yeah, one of the ideas we had from our forum, Sister Martha, is kasi yung Hospicio de San Jose, nandun kayo sa Ayala Bridge. We should have a anti-Parex mobilization sa Ayala Bridge. Punuin natin yung Ayala Bridge with our streamers and posters. Then we can have a good also photo op, of all the opposition to Parex on that bridge.
Pag ano po, pag talagang ipupursu nila kasi yung sa dialogue namin sa pinadala nila dito, nagse-second thought nga daw po si Ramon Ang.
Yung Sister Martha, I will believe it if he says it. But baka propaganda lang yan. Sister Martha, I don't know.
Patingnan lang po natin kasi meron silang binigay. Kasi naghingi din po talaga kami ng naghingi po talaga kami ng copy noong kanilang ibibigay, isasubmit po. Kasi meron din kami mga kasama sa Rotarians, no, na nag-aaral din po nito. Kaya ang ano nila doon is pakinggan muna yung both sides, tapos pag hindi pa talaga saka tayo talagang ano to. Oo. So
kumahog yan lahat.
kumahog na talaga tayo niyan. Ang natutuwa lang kami po, salamat po sa iba-ibang grupo kasi talagang nakaka-inspire po talaga kayo in Green Convergence, Ilog Pasiglahin at lahat po na itong mga nagsasama-samang puwersa para matutulan ang Parex.
Thank you, Sis. I think the best thing here, Ma'am Marie, is that Green Convergence is objective when it comes to Kamayan, but we are biased when it comes to the protection of nature and the environment.
We are biased for the environment.
Yeah,
That's what we are biased for. Hindi natin i-deny that we are biased for the environment, no? So, yun. But we are willing always to listen to another side, no? Kaya nga yung late brother ko, he chose Kamayan, hindi lang dahil Kamayan hosted our forums in yung physical, no? Dun sa restaurant mismo and provided us food and venue. Pero yung Kamayan, parang we have to shake on it na we all want what is best for the environment. Dapat ganun yung nasa isip natin. So we will look for ways and to come together and agree. If we can't agree, we agree to disagree, but we do it in a friendly manner. Hindi tayo war. Pero kung minsan doon sa physical, kaya may gusto nang magpukpukan. So kaya my brother and me, nandun kami sa gitna. Tapos yung opposing sides na sa magkabila para hindi sila magkaabutan. Kung sakali uminit ang ulo. Yun. Anyway, we promised that we will take questions for Robert. Are there
Yeah,
any
before he
questions?
leaves.
Oh,
Yes,
could
Sir
you
Robert.
also maybe just make a suggestion? I know you were mentioning you try to get both sides of the story. I think one person who might be willing to come in the future, I don't know if you tried inviting him, si uh si architect June Palafox. You know, he was hired by
Yes.
San Miguel, and actually he was at the public hearing, and he was there defending Parex. And of course, I think in the past, uh, he has been also like an environmental advocate, si June
Yeah.
Palafox. And even
Yeah.
today, he says he is a environmental advocate. So how does he reconcile, building Parex with his environmental, objectives and ideas? I think he might be a person that would, I don't know, he might be willing to talk to us also.
And listen,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so are there any questions for Robert here? We've been so lucky to have him and Engineer Rich. So are there any questions? If there aren't any, we will
Yeah, let's proceed to our next reactor,
yes,
if ever.
and we will release him because he needs to go somewhere. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you. We hope
Thanks so much to everyone. Thanks so much, Ma'am Marie, Sir David, and Green Convergence for inviting me. Thank you po.
Yeah, Marie.
Yeah, I think nagre-raise ng hand si Ma'am Tessa. Ma'am Tessa?
Tessa, yes.
Yeah. Actually, we'd like to thank Howie Severino also because he was the one who recommended Sir Robert C. to be our guest here. But I'd like to ask, is there an existing position paper already that maybe people can just sign?
We do have, yes. And we can send to you po from Ilog Pasiglahin as well as Move as One Coalition. We have a position paper.
Let's target how many million signatures?
Yes, dapat po.
Yeah, sige, thank you.
I sent the... By the way, Alisa is here. Alisa
Yes.
Belda, who is leading
Alisa.
our...
Yes, she's the next reactor. And I'm going to introduce her. Alisa, wait.
Very good.
I will introduce you. So, our next reactor is graduated as magna cum laude lang naman in Bachelor of Science in Interior Design with a specialization in interior landscaping. For the past few years, she has been involved in various environmental and social causes, most notably the community organizing efforts for the activation and rehabilitation of the Pasig River as an urban waterway and public space. A believer in people-centered design and how designers mediate between spaces and people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to present Alisa Belda. Alisa, hello.
Hi, Miss Marie. Thank you so much
Good
for
afternoon.
inviting us here. Just to start, I set a link po in the chat containing all papers related to Parex from San Miguel Corporation, the position papers that the coalition has sent over the years, and also some information about some briefers that we made about the project. So feel free to add or contribute or anything.
That's good.
We also
Thank
have an
you.
ongoing petition, online petition at bit.ly no to Parex. It's a change.org petition that you can also sign. We sent that list, all 26,000 signatures to the DNR last October. So, yeah. Gusto ko lang po mag-react sa presentation ni Sir Rich Peñaflor. Actually, I listened to him way back in 2021 in this forum that ICOMOS organized about Pamanang Ilog Pasig. And I learned quite a lot about, the intersections of health, Pasig River, and why why we should care about it. And totoo po, the Pasig River is alive. So since 2021, kami po ang Ilog Pasiglahin. Let me just let me just introduce. We started out as the Filipino Youth Against Parex back in 2021. And then eventually we transitioned into Ilog Pasiglahin because beyond Parex, beyond the threats to Pasig River and its tributaries and the heritage structures around it, there is really a call that, like what Sir Robbie mentioned earlier, na if we build Parex, lalong mawawala yung relationship natin with Pasig River. And that's especially true with the youth. So whenever we visit po yung mga communities, let me just share the screen. So this is us. This is me with my co-convener, Jeff. So whenever we visit po mga communities, this is in Pineda, Pasig, most of the youth, they already have a relationship with Pasig River. Here, this is a big public space. Oh, sorry. This is a big public space. They ginagamit po nila yung river to play. Diyan, madaming tao dito paghapon, and it's the same is true for any other communities that live near Pasig River. So through the help with our partners in Philippine Movement for Climate Justice and Greenpeace Philippines, we get to connect with the local barangays sa Pasig to talk to them bakit ano ang Parex and why we should care about the Pasig River. And kanina po na-mention na from Hospicio de San Jose, 20 years na daw po siya nandun. Dati iba po talaga yung amoy ng Ilog Pasig, pero ngayon, hindi, it's not as bad. And these are the misconceptions po that I believe has been passed down to my generation na ako po kasi taga QC ako, so I don't really pass by Pasig River that often. Pero I remember in my elementary days, laging yung dinatatak sa akin ng mga teachers ko, ang baho daw sa Ilog Pasig, madumi, di na pwedeng maligo, ganto ganyan. Pero ngayon, me as a fully grown adult, I see, when I pass by Pasig River, I see people fishing. I see people, yung tumatawid ng bangka from, for example, Pineda to Guadalupe. I mean, tatawid sila. May mga informal na modes of transportation through Pasig River, not just the ferry. And there's also people na nangingisda along Pasig River. And this is one of the things na I think about, like, is it a chicken or egg situation na do people not have a relationship with Pasig River because they can't access it? Or do we have to develop it first so that people have a relationship with Pasig River? So what we've been doing po as the youth, ito po, when we visit some for communities, we try to make an effort to document, like, how do the children feel about Pasig River. Last Monday nga po, na-mention po ni Sir Robbie na nag-visit po ang aming members sa Hospicio de San Jose. Thank you so much for welcoming us, and we hope na it was a really great activity and forum. So ginagawa rin po namin ito sa ibang communities. For example, this is in Pineda. We were invited by a local bike shop to celebrate their anniversary. And then we held a bike ride. So nag-bike po kami from the bike shop until San Miguel Corporation to ask for accountability and to let the bikers experience na Pasig River is valuable. Hindi siya patay. And ayun nga, this is a really great public space. It's a very slow street. There's a lot of people who benefit from Pasig River, and I can't imagine putting an expressway over that and making it just unpleasant for the residents. So ito po kami sa DENR noong October 24. Since 2021, let to just shed light on the whole EIA process that we have been doing. Around 2021, pinasok po namin yung Environmental Impact Assessment Report ng SMC about Parex sa Turnitin, because during one of the community visits, our co-convener, Joven Hacolbia, saw this segment sa EIA na parang, ba't may subway na nakalagay? And then we found directly lifted statements in the EIA from another project. So essentially, it was plagiarized. And imagine if nasa school ka, di ba? Mga students pa dito. If nakita kayong nag-plagiarize sa thesis nyo, like, anong gagawin ng professor nyo? Anong gagawin ng admin nyo? These are the things that they should be held accountable for. But somehow, kino-consider pa rin ang application ng Pasig River Expressway. So that's one anomaly. And then another, in 2022 naman, while we were studying again the EIA report of PAREX, one of our members saw that Taytay was supposed to be, Taytay suddenly was included in the alignment of PAREX, but in the public hearings and in the public scopings, they weren't consulted at all. So we wrote a letter to Taytay. One of the councilors there, Councilor Tobit Cruz, heard us out, and ayun, we talked to them about what can the local government do. We had this meeting with Sir Robbie then actually to explore mga options on how we can stop this expressway. But and those are things that the youth has led. And I'm so grateful na meron po kaming mga advisors like Sir Reach, of course, and also Sir Robbie and all the other people in this Zoom room. We learn a lot from their expertise and their experience. And I'm so grateful na Ilog Pasiglahin is also a coalition where the youth are also empowered to do things like this. And we're empowered to do things like this even though we are young. So, ayun po, gumagawa ko kaming community visits, ng mga engagements, and we also do mga coalition building. So, in Ilog Pasiglahin, hindi lang po kami mga environmental advocates, meron po mga transport advocates, meron po mga labor groups, meron pong mga heritage advocates, because the Pasig River is the birthplace of our civilization. So, kung babalikan po natin ang history, di ba, may mga first civilizations in the world, so Mesopotamia, Tigris, and Euphrates. And that is what Pasig River is for us. It's hindi accident na maraming heritage structures along Pasig River. That's because it was an important waterway nung colonial era. Madaming it was really used as a transport system kasi nung Spanish period. And syempre andun din yung Intramuros, andun yung mga churches, andun yung mga different mga different communities and civilizations that have benefited from being close to the river. So siguro po in closing, I want to discuss. Thank you for all of the youth who are here. Let's rekindle our relationship with Pasig River. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliza. I'm very happy that our organization, Bayan Yan Para sa Kalikasan and Green Party of the Philippines is in fact part of the first group of organizations which really joined the Ilog Pasiglahin, kasi napakaganda nga na alternative na pasiglahin itong Pasig River. It's nasa nobela pa siya, di ba, ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Tapos biglang pwedeng mawala. So dapat protektahan nga yung daanan ng Vapor Tabo. I hope tama ako dun sa pangalan ng Vapor. Okay, thank you. Now let's go to
there's a hand raised, Sister Martha.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. So I really thank Ilog Pasiglahin, for all their help. Actually, the first activity they had was to invite us to join them, and then along Arroceros, and then the next time they were already having workshop with our children on how to take care of Pasig River through artworks. So salamat talaga doon. And then I would like to share my experience in 2018 12, no, when there was a philanthropist who came to Hospicio and offered to us parang a heritage tour through parang ferry din siya. But I could not remember the name, but it was really, really, really great because he was the one who guided us, para siyang tour guide, and he wanted DepEd sana to support that advocacy so that the children would have a relationship with the river and also with our history. Ang ganda-ganda po ng ginawa noon. Siguro sana matandaan kung sino po yung nakakaalala noon. We were more or less 40 residents of Hospicio de San Jose privileged not to listen to his guided tour. So sumakay kami sa ferry from Guadalupe to Binondo, and then in going there to Binondo, yung isang side ng parang binibigyan niya talaga ng istorya bawat segment ng aming nilalakbayan, no. So yung lahat ng structures ng kabilaan ay yung may story talaga behind, no, yung sabi ni Alisa kanina. So I was really hoping that DepEd would support his advocacy kasi sabi niya he lived abroad for many years. Nakita niya kung gaano pinaalagaan ng mga heritage areas, no, ng ibang bansa. Kaya lang sad to say na hindi, when I called him up, hindi daw na support ng DepEd. So parang nawala na rin yung contact number ko sa kanya. So I will really try to recall his name and then maybe try to trace him, no? Kasi ang ganda-ganda po ng advokasya na iyon. So hopefully with a ferry na hydroelectric, sana magkakaroon ulit tayo kasi very educational talaga. So salamat Alisa sa iyong remarks, ha. So sana matutuloy yung ganon advokasya. Thank you.
And thank you, Sister Martha. I think, Ma'am Marie, before we proceed to receive more questions, because I think the program guide had been a bit swapped all over the place, let's remind our everyone today that there will be an evaluation for the
Yes,
event.
I was going to say, David, that we forgot our announcements. Nagulo kasi yung ating.
Yeah,
Nagulo
that's why.
kasi.
Before we
So
proceed
anyway,
with
yes,
the
go ahead
questions,
with the
yeah.
evaluation. Yes.
The GC Secretariat will share a link to an evaluation form for today's Kamayan Forum session in the chat box. The link will also be flashed on screen, so please take time to give us your feedback to help us improve the forum. Ma'am Marie, about the
Yes, that's
e-certificate?
important. Yes, for the information of those who request an e-certificate of participation, here are the requirements for their issuance. 1, the participant must have been actually present in the forum and not merely pre-registered. Daya yon kung nag-pre-register ka lang tapos you expect us to give you a certificate of participation, di ba? And B, or 2, additionally, the participant must submit a duly accomplished evaluation form. Yun.
Thank you, Miss Marie. And I guess we do not have to present the open form already because the rules are, already been
yes.
said. But I hope that moving forward, we are very eager also to know the name of the organization or the school to which our people asking questions are coming from, so that our guests and everyone would be familiar. Okay, go on with the more questions.
Yes,
Let's
if there
go
are questions for Alisa.
to Ma'am Tessa from Green Convergence.
Yeah, a lot of good suggestions came out from this forum, no? Like having electric motorboats for Pasig, and then mga tour guides or madaming magaganda. I was thinking, how would our guests feel if we give this suggestion to San Miguel, so that instead they can divert their budget doing something good. And this is an example of an ecological development that we want our country to go into. So if for example we do this, is it okay with our guests? That's what I'd like to know. parang something positive can come out, hindi ba?
Well, there's no harm in it, I guess, but I don't know if they will, respond positively. But
That's very
there's no
interesting.
harm in expressing our wishes. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, the
Eliza?
Prada, kanina yung
Okay.
sinabi ni na Prada.
The Pasig River Administrative Development Authority.
Yeah,
Very good suggestion
that
as well.
can do that. Pwedeng gawin para maging holistic, cultural, environmental,
Let's
everything.
ask Engineer Rich and I think Eliza if what do they think about the suggestion? Ipasa daw natin yung collection of suggestions to San Miguel, hoping that they would listen. Engineer Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, I think ito nga may message ako. Meron akong marites. When the son of RSA died last year or early this year, medyo nagbago na yung kanyang script. So yung sinasabi ni Sister Marta na yun nga, open or kakambyo na si Ramon Ang with his plan of doing the Parex. So ano yun, good news po yun, di ba, Eliza? Kasi noon pa nating 2021 to nilalaban eh. Pero yun nga, nung namatay yung anak, yung son ni RSA, medyo kumambyo na siya. So sana nga siguro we can seek an audience with RSA. Dati po akong empleyado ng San Miguel Corporation. I worked there for 12 years. So
Wow.
may mga kabagang pa rin ako doon, may mga office mates ako na siguro pwedeng mag-sponsor sa atin para ipahatid yung ating
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, Rich. Kasi yung person to person is much more effective than something written that they will read. Kasi looking into people's eyes, it's different, di ba?
Right. Yun nga, yung imamaritas ko sa inyo, ano na lang, next time na lang yun. Pero yun nga, nagbago yung mindset ni RSA when it comes to pera. Kasi nga, di ba, tinitingnan natin ang Parex is pera-pera lang yan eh. Hindi talaga siya solution para ma-ease yung traffic problem in the Philippines. Saka ano. At the same time, yung mga ginagawa natin na small efforts na pag nakita niya yon, bakit natin ginagawa ito? Is because it's really a problem na ang tinitingnan natin dito yung future ng ating mga anakis, yung mga aponito sa aponita. So, I think yung naumpisahan nila Eliza Belda na nagbike, going to San Miguel, going to DNR, medyo nalungkot nga ako bakit ang DNR naka-side pa din doon, di ba? So dapat sila yung unang protector.
Yeah.
Estudyante ako dyan sa DNR din, so pwedeng iba sa kanila mga director na ngayon. So pwedeng kalampagin din natin yon. So I think yung effort na to will snowball sa mas malaking effort para mas matuldukan na natin na wala talagang Parex na mangyayari sa Ilog Pasig.
Marie?
Yes?
May I follow the drift of Tessa? Okay, she's suggesting that we write a letter to San Miguel or have an audience with him. But can we have the backing of the participants of this forum? Can we assume that you are with us and therefore we will put in the signatory your names,
yes,
participants?
That's a good question.
Parang,
will you ratify this move?
Yeah.
This body? The easiest way to do this is if you object, please raise your hand.
Yeah.
If you object. If you object.
Support Parex. Ano pong objection?
No, if you object to writing a letter.
And putting your name.
And putting your name as a signatory. If you object to us giving a letter supporting the no to Parex and attaching your name as a body today, we can date it today. No, now parang we have a resolution or something. If you don't object to us attaching your name, please, para mas mabilis, you just Okay, you put it on the chat box. I object, so we can remove your name.
Hello. I have some concerns lang po and insights about I think we all know naman po anong track record ng San Miguel Corporation when it comes to environmentally destructive projects. So I think it would be worth a shot. Pero I don't think that we can, at the end of the day, a corporation has profit only on their mind. We cannot hold them accountable for anything. They do not answer to us.
That's
So
right. Yeah, but we're just saying, it's worth a shot. Sometimes miracles happen, and don't discount the energies.
yun nga po. I was
We'll
about to
have energies, no? And our energies have space, occupy space, and are, matter. So,
sorry. If I may finish po, maybe if Sir Paulo is still here, maybe he can shed some light on how the Iloilo Esplanade came about.
The Iloilo what?
Esplanade.
Yeah. Some good project then by Paolo Casarin and Senator Drilon.
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead, Sir Paulo.
If I could share, the Iloilo Esplanade started about a decade ago, 10 years ago, and we were shown the dike road that was built as a flood mitigation measure for the Iloilo River, which had already by that time been cleaned up, and kudos to the administration then and Frank Trilon and the Congressman Treñas at the time and the mayor at the time, Jet Mabilog. And the thought was to provide a linear park. We started with the first phase, 1.2 kilometers of the Esplanade between Rilon Bridge and Carpenter Bridge. And it was designed in 3 months and built in 6 months at a cost of below 70 million pesos for the stretch, which is very cheap compared to vehicular infrastructure. And so since then, after it proved successful, we did phase 2 and phase 3, which is about the same length each. And now we're in phase 10 with 9 phases already completed, each phase at about 1 kilometer each. And each phase was done in about a year. That's why it's taken a decade or 9 kilometers. And there were various stakeholder meetings. Senator Drilon made sure that they had a council of businesses and NGOs and the public concerned about the river, and stakeholder consultation was made, and the 9 years allowed each of the phase to be absorbed and by the public also in terms of use. And after a certain point, we as designers let go of the project to the DPWH and the city engineering office, who had already learned how to design and build. And so in the later phases, we're just on oversight. So natuto na sila kung paano gumawa ng infrastructure para sa tao, hindi lang para sa kotse. And there's further participation of the citizens of Iloilo. The bike racks that were put in were painted by Ilonggo artists. It was a initiative led by them and continued by them, and kusang inadapt din ng mga civic organizations. So it's a very clean esplanade because they've learned how to use the linear park. And of course, when COVID happened, the esplanade, the Iloilo was one of the first to have an alternative mode of transport that connected people without having to ride cars. Of course, at the same time, we were also doing the Aquino Avenue, which allocated 40% of the road right away to pedestrians and bikes. So it's a combination of bike and walking pedestrian convenience that led to the functional success of the Iloilo Esplanade as well as the boulevards. And so we can look to Iloilo as an exemplar of a very good public spaces and non-motorized transport or additional methods of mobility. The only thing that held it for required 9 years was the lack of enough funds, because Senator Drilon could only channel so much every year. With the PAREX, San Miguel has more financial wherewithal to spend 90 plus billion on something instantly, whereas for the Iloilo we had to have less than 100 million a year. So again, in terms of the overall cost of the 9 kilometers, it's about $500 million only. So if you factor the 25 kilometers of the Pasig River Esplanade on both sides could be built with 5% of Ramon Ang's projected budget of the PAREX. And if you use another 5% of that budget, you could build at least 10 pedestrian bridges over the Pasig, and that would be an alternative to the vehicular-based infrastructure that he's proposing. Thank you.
Wow, so many ideas. But going back, thank you very much for that. Alisa, did you want to say something else?
Oh, I said lang po sa chat, maybe a good position would be, while we are not constituents, we are consumers of the San Miguel Corporation and its other
Yes, right.
other products.
Yeah, all of us are consumers, right? No, so I just want to go back to Dr. Galang's questions, Nina Galang. Yung if you are you willing to attach your names to our petition or to our letter? If you're not, we will respect that. Please write your name in the chat box, and we will exclude your name. Is that okay? Is that a good way to do it?
I think that's the best way. That's the easiest way.
Yes.
Yeah. And Marie, maybe
Yes.
in relation to Alisa's fear that San Miguel might not listen to us, let's also send a letter to DNR.
Yes.
Okay.
And the fear of people not listening to us should not prevent us from doing what is right.
Correct.
No? So if they don't listen, that's their problem. Well, we will try some other avenues, okay,
Correct.
and some other means. But that's part of it. We will try everything. Dapat ganon, di ba? Yes, Rich. Rich,
Yeah,
yes.
Sister Martha?
Yes po. Actually, I'm glad that you're able to articulate that, because the ones that were sent, the people were sent to us by PAREX team. One of them is Joel V. Rico, who is on preservation heritage, and he was really the one who was so alarmed because of the project, and he said that we can articulate what we want and our dreams about it, so that they can forward it to PAREX team themselves, no? Kasi siya din mismo nababahala siya doon. So if we have this this advocacy better, no, than to make rally immediately. So they would study also our dreams, and I'm very hopeful about it. I'm very glad that we have come up with this kind of response. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. And Rich, yes?
I think this time around, baka iba na yung kumpas ng panahon. Kasi when we started in 2021, Eliza, di ba remember, iba yung presidente noon, tapos iba din yung nag-head ng DNR. This time around, di ba, the secretary of DNR is the wife ng basketball player. Tapos ibang presidente ngayon. So baka, tapos at the same time, during that time, iba rin yung kanta, iba yung sinasabi ni RSA. Napapanood ko siya sa TV, parang nakasupport siya dun sa previous government eh. This time around, nakikita ko na merong initiative about environment yung present government, although medyo nandun ako sa kabilang bridge ako. Pero nakikita ko na merong merong mga pinupush about the environment. In fact, merong isang grupo na na-form, which I also belong, yung GREEN. Ito yung Global Responsibility for Ecological Environmental Nurturing, na under ni Colonel Rodrigo Bonifacio. Medyo malapit siya dito sa present administration. So baka it's a different ballgame nowadays comparing nung inuumpisahan natin to. Plus siguro I think it's worth trying na magkaroon tayo ng audience with RSA. This time around siguro
Yes.
direkta para marinig niya, including
Yes.
siguro yung ating manifesto o yung ating alay pinapapirmahan nating signature campaign. So kung direkta niya makukuha yon, at the same time siguro meron pang other pakulo na let's say from Pasig, pupunta tayo ng San Miguel, o sa San Miguel, hawak natin yung mga San Miguel products. Sabihin natin, pagka hindi nyo kami, pag tinuloy nyo yung Parex na yan, iboboycott namin, mas malaki mawawala sa kanila. So siguro, this time around, different ball game, different scenario. So it's worth trying this time.
Yes, I
During
agree.
the 2021, iba talaga yung condition nun. Parang lahat nakaano eh. So I think it's worth trying this time around.
Yes, thank you. I agree. Everything is worth trying.
It's really good naman no to approach sa San Miguel Corporation, and again I think what Eliza is also saying and the concerns also is that the Parex is part and parcel just one of the projects that is endangering the environment sponsored by San Miguel Corporation. Another one which has bigger implication again to the environment is the Bulacan Airport. So there are multiple projects which I think San Miguel has to look into, and I think we could shed light by beginning on approaching them through the Pasig River Expressway. Simulan natin sa Parex, then probably RSA would see the vision that protecting the environment is vital and a better way to go. Yun lang siguro yung ating pwedeng gawin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. If there are no more questions, I think we are about ready to fold up. Let's look at the chat box. Meron bang nag-object?
I think ang nakita ko lang dito ay yung asking if we could sabi na Marie from Ellie, Marie, I would like to hear the views on the other side on Parex before agreeing to the letter, especially from Green Architect Palafox, who I understand is now on board. So yun lang yung concern na nandun sa chat box natin.
Okay, so that means hindi pa siya 100% sa who is that from?
I think we could ask him to if she is able to voice out her concern and from what organization.
Okay lang, sige. Sino to? Si
Ellie.
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie.
Do you want to talk? We have time. You can unmute or do you...
Yeah, Maria, I was hoping that this session would include the pros and the cons of the Parex.
Yes, that's what we intended, but the con didn't arrive. So that's beyond our control.
I understand that, but would you be able to have another session and invite somebody? I mean, Green Architect Palafox would be interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we are going to repeat the whole thing or just talk to, we have to plan it. But for the meantime, maybe if there are developments, we can have a second round of this.
Or maybe new developments. Or perhaps you and David can talk to Palafox and find out what his views are. It would be interesting to know, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I would be interested to know. That's why you wanted the con to be here. And I really wanted to listen to their arguments, But for now, we do not want to hold up our actions. So if you are hesitant to, we will not include your name in the petition first, and just include it later when you say yes, if we already have word from Palafox. Okay, is that good?
Sure, that will work fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Ellie.
Ellie.
Thank you.
So how do we pursue talking to Palafox.
I thought, didn't you know him? Didn't we have him in?
Yeah, I know him. Do you want to talk to him sometime or?
Yeah, it would be
but
good.
I think Rich also knows him. Si Rich or si Robert. So how do you want, if I will text him, anong gusto niyo sabihin ko? I'll just call him na lang.
No, siguro, let's send him our position and then ask him to
react.
comment, react. Yes, so that we will know his side.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way.
Yeah,
Diba?
actually we also invited yung toll regulatory board. Kasi they're the ones also doing the project. However, we just sent the invitation yesterday kasi yung DPWH actually just referred us to them on yesterday. But they said that if we send an invitation, they can schedule some time and talk to us. So maybe aside from Palafox reacting to we can also ask the toll regulatory board to also react to our letter.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's good to have their reaction or their arguments in writing. Don't you
Correct.
think?
I'll try.
Yes. So is that settled then? Did we settle?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's good. So are we ready to wrap this up, David? You know, it's David who will give the wrap up today.
Hirap. I'll try my best. Go ahead, Marie, with the closing of our Q&A first, then I'll go ahead with the remarks.
Yes. You're the one who will give the closing remarks. I'll just give the bye-bye.
So I'll thank you everyone for coming today, and then let's present the summary and the closing remarks for today's Kamayan Forum. I've gathered a few words from our speakers. First is from Engineer Richard Penaflor, who is the national spokesperson of Green Party of the Philippines. He said esteros were clean during the time of Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission under Gina Lopez. And the key here is connecting the environment to the daily lives of the people, which made that possible. Sir Robert C. from Move as One Coalition said, there are alternatives to PAREX like the Pasig River Ferry, improve mobility, move people, not cars. I summarized the gist of what he said. Then from Eliza Belda of Ilog Pasiglahin, she said, develop and find out the key relationships between the people and the Pasig River through various activities, connecting with the youth and the future generation. I think that's very important on, linking with the people living in the Pasig River. And from Sir Paul Alcasaran, I got two key things about what he shared today. Aside from the ferry system, the government, the OTR, DPWH, should build 7 to 8 new pedestrian bridges. Stop building car bridges that will provide better connectivity and options for mobility without compromising the environment. And the Iloilo Esplanade could be a good basis on what to do next. Now let me give the summary for today's forum. First and foremost, I think the key here is, as the statement that our multiple speakers said, Pasig River is not dead. That is very important. And then we should start thinking on how to move people, not cars, how to use alternative and active mobility instead of focusing more on private vehicles. The creation of the Pasig River Administration and Development Authority was also brought up, which I think is something that should connect from what Gina Lopez and the Pasig River, the PRRC and the River Warriors has done into the next generation and what has to be done. I also sum up that perhaps the Supreme Court continuing mandamus on the Manila Bay should also be interpreted as including Pasig River and its tributaries. It directly links to Manila Bay. Without cleaning the Steros, without cleaning Pasig River, it would also affect the general cleanliness and quality of Manila Bay. And while opposing Parex, we should also move towards uniting and creating the next steps towards continuing the protection and rehabilitation of Pasig River from the Esteros to Manila Bay, which I think is the key to the suggestion today that alternatives and solutions should be sent to San Miguel corporations, and not only San Miguel Corporation, but also concerned agencies of the DNR, so that we can all sit together and draw alternative that benefits the environment. And in closing, let me say that protecting the environment, or more so nature and its components, should be beyond politics. It should be the one single bias that we should all share, because it is our life and our future. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, David. Thank you very much for that. And, you did a good job. Thank you. So, meron akong mga pahabol na announcements before we finally go, no? I would like to invite you to visit the Ako Ang Bukas website, AAB. Can you flash the link, Amabel? And also, I would like to invite you to become a GC member. Kung sino may gusto, meron tayong membership form. Okay? We would be very glad to have you. Madami tayong trabaho kasi. And we need hands and heads and hands. Okay? So thank you very, very, very much to our guests. Ang galing, kahit na kukonti ang guests natin ngayon. It was a very stimulating discussion with Engineer Rich, with Robert, and with Alisa ba? Akala ko Alisa pala.
Alisa po.
O, Alisa pala. O, tamo.
So, I'm corrected.
I want to be correct about, names kasi that's your name. Sa tama, Alisa. Thank you.
Para ako, David palagi tawag sa akin. So, David.
Okay, so we would be happy to welcome you to Green Convergence, and please, as I was saying, visit the Ako Ang Bukas website and try our GHG calculator so that you will know your impact on the environment. Okay, we hope to see you every third Friday of the month. We've been here for 33 years.
Wow.
And our next Kamayan Forum will be on December 15th, our Christmas special. Yay! Let's come together and have a Christmas celebration in honor of our Earth, the Earth that we love. Okay? Thank you so much for joining us. The participants today were very participative and active, and that makes me happy. So I hope to see you again next month. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Kita-kits po tayo. Tanda natin, pag-alis natin, sabi nga nung project, Ako Ang Bukas, tayo magsisimula para mas mapaganda ang kalikasan. Sama-sama po tayo.
Everything
See you.
starts with us.
Yes.
With the individual me. Okay?
Salamat po. At happy weekend sa lahat.
Maraming salamat po.
Yes. See you again.
Salamat po. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
po.
you sa
Thank
lahat.
you. Thank you.
Congrats po, Miss Marie.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats.